Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Monday Keys to Real Estate chat here. It's me, Lily, your realtor. We have Jessica, your lender with Empire Financial. We are here to educate you today on how to buy a home and what the steps are. Jessica, do you want to tell them a little bit about yourself first?
Well, thank you, Miss Chandler.
You're welcome.
Um, Actually, I am a mortgage broker of 23 years. Six of those I have with JP Morgan Chase in banking. So I have banking background as well. I work for Empire Financial, the most innovative, progressive, tech, coolest place ever, mortgage broker ever. That's where I work. So yeah.
Basically, yeah. My clients have gotten hella hooked up since you changed over.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, we can't wait to, and there's so much stuff that we're going to show you, Lily, when you come to the office. Like it's out of control. So, yeah.
I'm so excited for that. Okay. So and you guys obviously know me, your realtor. I'm always just doing the most, running around with my daughter, and been doing this for a few years and been excelling and working hard every day. So I wanted today mainly to tell you guys about the steps to buying a house and what it takes, like I just said. So let's get into it here. I have this home buyer's guide, and if you want a PDF of this, let me know. I'll email it to you. Or if you have an iPhone, I'll just drop it over. So, contents, there's a lot in here. I'm just going to go to the main things. Me, your agent, you know about me. This is my team. Jessica is our lender. I have a showing assistant, transaction coordinator, steps to buying a home, meet your agent, and then get pre approved. Now, when it comes to getting pre approved, there's a difference between getting pre qualified and pre approved. And this is where I'm going to let Jessica take over and talk about this step briefly.
Yes, there is a very stark difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval. Pre-qualified is basically a very soft overview look at the buyer, right? So they might do a soft pull or no pull at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
There's banks out there that could look at, whatever they put in the application, and they're giving a pre-qualification based on the information that's entered by the buyer. Now, everyone knows that there could be a miscommunication or a miscalculation of the income that they actually make, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of buyers come to me and say, hey, I make $80,000. And then when I'm digging into that income, I find out that, a good portion of that $80,000 is calculated by bonus and commission. Well, those types of income have to be averaged over 2 years, 12 to 24 months, depending on the program. And so there's a lot of variables that go into calculating income. So pre-qualification, that's something that's like I said, a soft overview. It doesn't really include all of the documentation that is required to review intensely to get that solid pre-approval. Now, you can get an idea if you are going in the right direction with a pre-qualification, but in this market, we all know that a pre-approval is what is needed to make that offer, right? So a pre-approval is when the lender, and this is what my team and I do, we pull the credit in, we ask for all the documentation. So that's all of the income docs, all of the W-2s. We document every asset that there is that we're using for the funds to close and down payment. We even go as far as looking into what those bank statements look like, what type of accounts we're pulling in for assets. And we run the file through desktop underwriting, which is a software that all lenders use to get that that underwriting online review. And then we kind of go through it, the application and the loan review. After we collect all of that documentation, we go over those things with the borrower. So we don't leave any stone unturned, so that if there's anything that pops up, we red flag it right away.
Right. Okay. Very good. You're very in depth, and I appreciate that. I have had buyers say, "Hey, my down payment, I have it in cash, but it's in my dresser drawer." And I let them know,
Mm.
"Hey, you need to deposit that as soon as possible. And what would you say, Jessica? Tell them to always check with the lender, but to the best of my knowledge, I believe at least 6 months they want to see that in there, or is it 2 months that they need the most 2 months recent bank statements, and they won't question where that money came from, right?
Yes, they have to have it seasoned for 60 days.
60 days,
Correct.
yes.
60
Okay.
days or more. And, for just to be safe, we just want to make sure that when they're beginning the process, and this is why it's so important to reach out to a lender. Can we
Mm-hmm.
say that one more time? Reach
Also,
out to a
out to the
lender
lender in advance
in
when you even first
advance.
think about it.
Don't look for a house.
Oh my God,
Reach
don't.
out to a lender.
Yep.
Don't reach out to a lender. Okay.
Just reach out to the lender.
we
And
can't
the
preach it
realtor.
enough, but reaching out to a lender, you can actually firewall all of these things. So one of the top things that I love to do, and this is the part of my job that I love, is that I think like an underwriter, right?
Mhm.
And you have to have a lender or a mortgage broker like myself that literally knows all of the guidelines so that they can put that underwriter hat on when they're looking at the pre-approval and going through the loan review, because then we can actually firewall, just stop all the madness from happening. And after you spend all of the money, right? So we've heard
Mhm.
all the stories like, I lost my appraisal and I lost my escrow deposit,
Mhm.
and all of these things, and not to mention time looking for the house that they really were going to be
Months
qualified for.
and emotional
Months.
excitement.
Yeah,
It's
stress, the whole thing.
it's the pride.
Yeah, just because there was not the right team in place,
Mhm.
like you, Lily, like
I
me, that could
totally understand.
firewall all of these things.
Yeah. And like as a realtor, I get these buyers that, hey, I'm pre-qualified for 400,000. Okay, so you might have an agent that's new to this and they don't realize that your mortgage payment, it consists of your principal, interest, taxes, and your insurance. And then all on the side of that, you might have to pay an HOA too. So some people even think
Mhm.
townhomes are cheaper. What if you have a $350 monthly HOA? You're paying more, and that HOA, it's going to factor into your debt to income ratio. So then do you qualify for the same thing? You might as well just get a single family home in some cases, especially like,
And
yeah,
yeah, no, especially what?
like I was gonna say, especially like in the Champions Gate area,
Hmm.
those HOAs, the taxes, just, oh my gosh, for some people they're like, oh, I want to live here. I'm like, but the taxes are about $700-800 a month. They're like, oh, yeah, well, maybe I do want to live in Davenport. Maybe you do. There's so much to take in and evaluate with the monthly payment.
There is so much, especially, I was going to also piggyback on the payment being, a big variable with the taxes, right? Because taxes are
Mhm.
like all over the place.
All of
And
them.
you could be looking for, a single family residence, a townhouse, or a condo. I've had buyers look for all three types of those homes. And honestly, it's from one spectrum to the other as far as what that mortgage payment really looks like. And the interest rates are different on a condo versus a single family. We all know that.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
yep.
Yeah, there's a lot
So,
that I don't want to take too long on, but that is a topic that we can dive deep into one day. So,
yes.
next part here. Okay, I'm not going to dive into the loan types, but basically, you guys, minimum credit score to buy a home, 550. Jessica, what do you say with these down payment assistance programs? What's the minimum credit score?
I would say you really want to stay 640 or higher in most cases. Obviously, as high as possible, but 640 being pretty much the lowest.
Yeah,
I mean, I
640
do have,
for the house.
and yeah, and I would say that there are a couple programs that will go down to a 620. But again, they all have different requirements. So
Mm,
again, the number one thing we said earlier, speak to a lender up front. Don't try
right.
to qualify yourself, because as a mortgage broker, we have over 75 different lenders that we can, shop around for programs
Exactly.
with. Yeah.
Just take the stress off yourself and let the lender do their job. Like Ask the realtor to send you houses that fit exactly what you're looking for. Don't look at 100 houses. Look at the 3 I send you, and guess what? Those 3 are gonna be gems. You're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh." And I just took out weeks of your life that you were gonna waste. You know, and let Jessica just tell you right away what you've qualified for instead of, "Maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this." Maybe you need to evaluate with the lender, and that'll help you decide what you wanna do.
Agreed.
Yeah. So here, questions to ask lenders. What types of loans do they offer? What will my interest rate be? And that's something, don't ask them that every day because the interest rate isn't locked in until you're like about to close on your house. But it's not going to vary too much in those 45 days, unless COVID
Okay.
like 10, and it's extreme. It's going to take literally like, what did they
Yeah.
call it? Like some act of God. What was that word they called it?
It was like it was like a
Yeah.
disaster from God, like an act of God. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
just randomness. Okay. So, yeah, what is your average loan processing time? You guys, this part right here, super important. Some lenders like Rocket Mortgage, they're going to take 45 days. Guess what? The seller's going to pick the offer that can close in 9 days. I know a certain lender who can close pretty quickly, y'all. So, yeah, interview your lenders. Loan
Mhm.
application checklist. This is just things that the lender's going to ask for. She just went over. House hunting tips. Let's investigate the area. If you don't know about the area, I will tell you all about the area. Ask around family, friends, coworkers, if they know anybody that's looking to buy it or to sell their house. And maybe I can reach out to them on your behalf and cut a deal. And guess what? They're going to cut you a deal because they don't have to pay a huge commission. I'm just one person. And by the way, the seller pays me. You don't owe me a penny. Like we're doing tours, I buy you lunch, I spend money on you, I get you a closing gift. Don't pay me. Like buy my baby a box of diapers if you must, but that's all I can ask because diapers is cheap. That's it. Um, Keep an open mind. Like how I just said about townhomes, single family, you don't really know what you want. Like my husband and I, we were like, oh, I want a pool. Oh, I want a 2-story house. And that was him on both of those. I'm like, I want a 1-story house. I don't want stairs. I want a family eventually. So a pool, I don't know, maybe on our second home. But we ended up in the middle. We have like I mean, our house is small compared to some people, but 2,000 square feet, I'm happy. Like this is perfectly enough, not too much to clean. We're a small
Mhm.
and we have a beautiful lake view that we don't have to maintain. The HOA, of course, maintains it so we don't get like swampiness. I've never seen a gator. There will never be a gator in my pond out back. He goes fishing every day, though. There's bass, there's bluegill, there's some catfish in there. There's this random fish the other day. It's really shiny, like a silver dollar, kind of like not a silver dollar, but it's actually shiny. Anyways,
Mhm.
yeah, keep an open mind about all of that. You don't know what you want, so you step into it, and the house will speak to you. It really will. So take pictures and notes because whenever you're touring with me, we might plan to tour like 3 homes, but then I might say, hey, on the way to that third house, there's 3 more homes that I think you would like. So I just went ahead and booked the tours. Do you want to see them? If you say no, it's cool. But if you do want to see them, let's take pictures and notes so you can remember each one and not say, was that the second or third house? And, just remember, be ready to make an offer. If you love a home, chances are like somebody else is going to love it too. So be ready. And speaking of being ready, your pre-approval letter is your buying power. So you can say like, I'm gung ho, let's make an offer, Lily. I'm going to say, we need that pre-approval letter. Can you make sure we get it by tomorrow? And I will call the listing agent, say, hey, that offer is coming. I will keep great communication so it doesn't go, pending overnight because that's the worst thing that could happen.
Agreed.
And now, whenever it comes to making an offer, this is where it gets fun. This is where I kind of step in and get to spin my gears. We're going to put in a competitive offer. I look at current market conditions and not just the current market condition, with supply and demand, that specific seller. How motivated are they? Why are they selling? Is their kid going to college or heaven forbid, a divorce or somebody has the C word. I don't like to say it, but the CANCER word. And, they have a lot of medical bills to pay and they have to downsize, whatever the issue, how motivated are they? Some
Mhm.
people are very
Mhm.
motivated, especially in divorces. So
Mhm.
I will help with evaluating that. If there's other offers, if it's like a serious bidding war, we're not going to go 20,000 over. You know what we're going to do? And the average agent, I'd say 90%, maybe 95% of agents have never even heard of this. We're going to use an escalation clause. And what that does, say a house is 350,000 just to keep it simple. And, they're like, hey, we have multiple offers. First off, I don't know these people. I don't trust these people. I trust you and you trust me. That's it. So we're going to use an escalation clause saying the asking price is 350. they might be bluffing about any offers at all, you know? So we're offering 345 with an escalation clause up to 361. So this is for a few different reasons. Now, the escalation clause, it'll be 1,000 more than the next person. So just in case there is another offer, you're beating them by $1,000. So if the other offer is 1,000 above asking price at 351, or they're at 350 at asking price, they're accepting your offer at 351. Congratulations. But if there's no other offer, guess what? And they have to admit that they're bluffing because they want to go under contract, of course. That's the ultimate goal. They're going to say, congrats, your offer is accepted at 345. But if you had a newer agent like that, guess what? Let's offer 365 because I heard there's 3 offers. Well, congrats, it appraised for 365, but guess what? You just wasted $16,000 by working with the wrong person. So, anywho, we're also going to look at comparable properties sold in the area. Whenever it comes to the appraisal, the lender's not going to loan out more than it appraises for. So, never ever. They're going to want you to pay cash over that amount. So some people say, and again, new agents do this. They will waive appraisal for their buyers, waive the appraisal. So whenever it appraises $5,000 short, heaven forbid it's a first-time home buyer with like a newborn baby and they, are using everything they have for this escrow deposit. Okay. So then it doesn't appraise and they waive the appraisal and the seller wants $10,000 more because they said they would on contract. This is a contract. This is legal documents, guys. I just get so passionate and kind of upset about this because too many like this. Yeah. So the sellers, they've been under contract for 40 days already. So the sellers want to keep the escrow deposit when it doesn't appraise and the buyers don't have that $10,000 extra out of pocket that they said they did. So maybe that $6,000, whatever they're 9, 10, whatever they're 3% down, that'd be like 12,000 or so, whatever. Anyways, they're going to lose that money because they were messing with the wrong agent. And, they could take that up with, what is it, like the DBPR, whoever, and then get that money back, but whatever. We don't want you to have to go through that stress. And hopefully the sellers would be nice enough to release it because I haven't met a seller that nasty ever. We're all people, So let me get off that topic. Oh, goodness. The house. That is, whenever we put in the offer, we don't have the inspection before putting in the offer. We have the inspection after, and that during the inspection period, you can negotiate after you find something in the inspection. Say the hot water heater is leaking. Okay, I'm going to negotiate that. Does the seller want to replace it brand new? Maybe a tankless one. That'd be nice. I'll negotiate. Or do they want to pay $680 for a 1-year homeowner's warranty that will cover every single appliance, even the pool, if anything really, the pipes, you need a whole plumbing redone in your house, it covers every single thing. It's like a $75 service call. So I will talk to the sellers and negotiate on your end and find out what they want to do to make this right, because they will. But regarding the current condition of the house, I will look at what's the, is the AC old, all the current stuff before we put in the offer. And then you can pay in cash versus a loan. You'll save on closing costs and all that. Obviously, that's not realistic for most people. Put down a larger deposit. That will, of course, make it more enticing to the seller, because not that, like, some people are judgy, for example, for veterans. This is so wrong, you guys. Veterans qualify for 0% down. That doesn't mean they're broke. That I've worked with veterans that could pay it cash. But guess what? Leverage, duh. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you can, put a down payment on an investment property and then buy your personal property with 0% down, duh. So yeah, offer a shorter closing timeline. Work with right lenders, y'all. Offer accepted. Woo!
Wait, can I simmer on that for a second? Okay, so this is crazy. So I have received, with the lenders that I have access to, fastest clear to close, 4 days from start to finish. 4 days.
What type of loan was this?
It was conventional, but they had, they had all the things, and we had an amazing lender, and we just did what we had to do. And it was just an amazing closing. Now, I mean, obviously, I've even done 9-day closing. I mean, yeah, we have options.
Absolutely. It's just build your team, you guys. We're going to say it one more time. Build your team. So once your offer is accepted, this is where people go, oh my God, what now, what now, what now? Oh my God, this is too exciting. So now we just, ooh, we have coffee and Lily goes over the steps and she sends you this guide, and any extra questions, I'm here for them. So whenever we are under contract, I will initiate an email between you and the title company saying, hey, let's congratulate Lily's friend on being the next owner of 123 Main Street. Linda with title, will you please send the escrow wiring instructions to my client? And they will send you a PDF file just with their account and routing number to send a wire. And it'll say on there to call them and confirm the account and routing number, because there's wire fraud out there and we don't want to play with that. So always call the title company and confirm. Next step, schedule the home inspection. I have favorite inspectors. You have the right, of course, by law, choose whatever inspector you want. I'll give you 5 or 6 recommendations if you want to like price shop or call, interview. My favorite is John with Cornerstone Building Analysis. They are amazing. He has insurance on it, where like business insurance. So if he misses something, they will literally buy the place back from you if you feel like it.
Wow, that's pretty strong.
Yeah. Now, like if the dishwasher has a leak in it, you can't be like, buy the whole place back. Like they'll pay for the dishwasher to be
right.
But if it's like, holy crap, there's termites. Okay, give us that property. John, what are you doing? And they're going to reprimand him. But they don't have to do that. And that's why he has that insurance, because they like keeping him because he doesn't mess up. So again, build your team, work with the right people. Please take my recommendations for the referrals. Negotiate if necessary. I kind of touched on this, where we have our, we offered this because the AC is 10 years old. We renegotiate whenever the inspector says this AC, even though it's 10 years old, the owner's never done the maintenance. Look at this air filter, it's filthy. Oh my God, you're right. They just need to replace this whole thing. So we'll get that done. And then we complete the mortgage application. That doesn't mean the initial application for the pre-approval, not that. This is with like the underwriting. Jess, do you want to touch on this part to make it make more sense?
Yeah, so this is the cool part, because they basically have to update any additional documentation needed by us to complete the file before it gets submitted to underwriting. But this is also where we send out legal federal disclosures, so that both borrowers, or the one borrower, whoever's on the loan, is going to e-sign and acknowledge all of the things according to the application and what is being submitted, because we want to make sure that when we submit that loan, that the borrower is actually giving their, in what's called intent to proceed acknowledgement, so that we can order the appraisal. It is federal regulation that we receive that intent to proceed before we order the appraisal. So that's all part of the process. And my team and I are always available to go over those disclosures and kind of walk the borrowers through that. But everything is click, click, click. It's sign, e-sign online. It's very, very simple.
Okay. Can I ask a question and sort of put that in layman's terms from what I think the average Joe would understand? So yeah, that letter of intent thing is basically just saying, yes, I still want to move forward with this. I understand the terms and conditions that Jess's lender that she hooked me up with has.
Yes, they're agreeing to all that.
Okay. And then the reason why they need to do this, because the lender pays for the appraisal up front, that's $500 or $600. So you guys, like, you have to say like, yes, I plan to do this, because that's a liability to the lender. Like, who throws $600 away for nothing?
Well, and the thing about it is that in a lot of cases, we're going to have the borrower pay for the appraisal, unless it's like maybe a VA or something. Every now and then we can have us pay for it. But I will say, Lily, what I think also the federal government wants to make sure of is that we disclose everything up front, because during the mortgage crash, for a lot of you that, were not around, or maybe you were, there was no disclosing of any information when they were going into the loan process. So by the time the docs got to the title company and everyone was signing documents, they were like, wow, I never knew about this, this, and this. So the government now wants us as lenders to be more responsible and accountable. So we have to submit all of that information in detail, letting the borrowers, I can't ever say that for some reason, and I've been in this business for a long time, borrowers, they want to make sure that we discuss this up front, so that they are very clear before signing you know what, I am intending to proceed with this loan. So they want to make sure everything's clear.
Okay. And let me ask a question, because I have seen buyers pay for the appraisal during the loan process. They have a
Yes.
link to pay for it in advance. And I have
Mhm.
seen it also on the closing disclosure at the end. Is it just different per lender?
No, so what you probably saw, and this happens sometimes,
Mhm.
most lenders have the borrower pay for the appraisal up front because at this point, there's a lot of things that could go wrong in the process, right? People
Yeah.
could, I don't know, lose the job or change jobs or not have the funds that they say they had in the bank. You know,
Right.
there's so many different
That's
things,
where it's
right?
liability. Okay.
Right. So they said, you know what, we're going to have them pay for the appraisal up front. Now, sometimes what has happened or what could happen, and this is actually what I've done as well, is they maybe have paid for the appraisal up front. Maybe it's credited back in a credit,
Uh,
or maybe the borrower is having a really tough time and, they're like, well, we're getting everything gifted to us. Would it be okay if we, maybe pay for the appraisal with the closing costs? I have actually seen where in some circumstances that is okay. It just depends on the file of the
yeah.
borrower to find out, what makes sense and if that's going to be
Yeah.
doable. Because at the end of the day, like you said, liability is very, it's something that we have to take in consideration when we're allowing things to happen or not happen. So
Mhm.
we kind of look at that at a case by case, and we kind of figure out if it's a doable situation or not.
Okay. That makes sense completely. Thank you. Okay. Next page is what not to do when you're buying a home. Fun, fun.
Mm.
Don't buy or lease a car. Don't change your jobs. Don't miss a bill payment. Don't open a new line of credit. Don't move any money around. Like, just don't do anything
And go
unusual.
to work on time. Don't get fired.
Yes. Oh my gosh, heaven forbid, because they will call the underwriters, like they'll call like the day before closing
They
and
will.
confirm your employment. Like
Hmm.
if your boss says, she's had attitude lately, I think about I'm gonna fire her next week though. Don't be like, yeah, I'm buying a house, screw you guys, and don't make them mad because they're gonna get that call to confirm your
Exactly.
employment. You intend to have her for the next year at least, right? So yeah, make sure it's all good. Um,
Exactly.
Final steps before closing, and this is where my buyers get like really tense and we go out to lunch again. Insurance requirements. I will help you with this part. As soon as we have the inspection, we get what's called the 4-point inspection and the wind mitigation, depending on the age of the roof. Now, with those, I will send to my insurance person. They're a broker, just like Jess is for the mortgage, how they have like the hookup with like 30 different options. I send to my insurance lady, and she has like the 30 different options. So she will find you the best insurance policy for, the cheapest. They're like the same, just like car insurance. It's the same policy no matter what.
Hmm.
Who's charging you the least. They'll find that for you.
Exactly.
And I will send her the reports just as a courtesy on your behalf, just to keep things simple. So don't even worry about the insurance requirements. I got you. Closing disclosure, that's what we were just talking about at the end, right before you sign, usually like 3 days. Yeah, at least 3 days before closing, lenders are required to provide you with a closing disclosure saying, hey, we closed in 3 days. This is going to be your exact numbers down to the penny. And if
Hmm.
that's off, guess what? You're a realtor, you're a lender, and your title company say, all right, y'all, let's figure out this discrepancy. And that's where you guys don't realize this, but 90% of my job, I'm not just unlocking doors, 90% of my job, I'm right here doing math. um, let's see, the final walkthrough. Within 24 hours of closing, you'll want to do a final walkthrough. And this is just to make sure that everything is as it said it would be whenever you sign the offer initially. So whenever the sellers are moving out, no couches, boom, into the wall. They didn't take the flat screen mounts. That's a big one. Most sellers leave a mount for a flat screen because taking those mounts off, so ugly. The worst thing you want to do is the final walkthrough and your buyer's like, yeah, we need to extend closing because you need to get a handyman to fix that and paint the walls and make sure it looks exactly like
Hmm.
had you not taken the mount down. Just leave them out there. Oh my god.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they're just making sure the house is good. That's it. Next up, closing. On closing day, we pop cannons, y'all. Let me see. So there we go. This is Layla. She's so sweet, and Jerry and Maggie. So I like to bring gold confetti cannons, make it fun. At closing, you're going to be there for maybe an hour and a half or so, signing a stack like that thick of papers. Just bring your writing hand, bring your arthritis cream, your carpal tunnel sleeve, whatever it is. And afterwards, we will do, photos and videos, celebrate, maybe have a lunch again or dinner, whatever time of day it is. So make sure you bring your government ID. You will get the day before or sometimes the morning of, depending on what time closing is. Title will send you the wiring instructions for the rest of your down payment, because your escrow deposit goes towards your down payment. So if your down payment is like 15,000, then your escrow deposit is 5. Then the day before closing, you wire 10. So then on closing day, they already have your down payment. The lender funds it. The second you sign, title copies it over to the lender, and boom.
And celebration.
Woo! Yes, so exciting. And bring your smile, this part. So once the wire goes through, we are closed. Enjoy your new home. What I have. Oh, on the last page, I have reviews. You see Marley? She is a real estate baby. So yeah, you can just read a few testimonials about my clients. I had that sign made. I didn't cut the sign. I painted it and I did the Cricut work myself. These are some of my investors.
Lily, jack of all trades. Jack of all trades.
Thank you, girl. I'm cheesy. Anything homemade, I'm all about it. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. We should do some creative projects together. I love making stuff.
I would love that. Yes.
That would be so much fun. Listen, I am an idea factory, right? So like, let's do it.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to like drop knowledge on today? I know I was like, I want to keep about a half hour. We're not too far.
Honestly, I would say, this market is tough, right? And so like just being real out there with everybody, even though the media, paints this market as like doom and gloom, it is an exciting time to buy. Why? Because obtaining real estate is one of the number one things that can build wealth so fast for so many people in such a short amount of time. And the situation that we're in right now, and I just want to say this out loud, and I know people have been talking about it online, but buy the house now. When rates drop, if you wait, it's going to be more competitive and it's going to be more expensive, because that is going to create a feeding frenzy. So getting into the market now versus later is going to be a lot less stress and cheaper for you in the long run without waiting. So that's my message for this evening. Buy now. If you can afford the payment, buy now.
That's right. That's completely right. Let me touch on that too. Okay, I'm just going to dive in. Oh goodness. When me and Brian bought our house, this was November 2020 that we closed on our house. We said in 2018 we're going to buy a house, and I was serving tables, and people are like, like I wasn't one of those servers, I made $300. Let's go for shots. I'm gonna go home. So yeah, like best advice, hoard your money. If you're a server, stop claiming $50, $60. Claim 3. Okay, don't take my legal advice, Jessica. You don't hear this, but claim what you make. Okay, just claim what you make, you guys. If you actually make 80,000, claim that 80,000. Get pre-approved. So, whenever it comes down to it, like we bought our house and everybody's like, don't buy, the market's going to crash. And I'm kind of like, watch this, because date the rate, whatever. And at the time, nobody's worried about interest rates, because guess what? People only have something to say when it's negative. Y'all realize that? Does anybody
always
with you guys? What were interest rates before COVID? Jessica, answer this.
Interest rates before COVID were about 4.75.
So only about 1.5% less than they are now, or so, right?
Yeah, a little bit, maybe. Well, depending on, maybe a little bit more, but not. It's not crazy. It wasn't like
drastic.
Yeah, it wasn't drastic. And can I just say this, is that when they dropped to 2.5%, there was still negative talk. So
yeah,
I mean,
still,
everyone said that Yeah, everyone said
Yes.
that the mortgage, the industry was crashing when they
Yep.
were 2.5%. So, I mean, you
People
can
kept
listen to
telling us.
negative all day.
That's exactly it. That's why I said, watch this, you guys, because I just did math in for a 1-bedroom apartment versus a 4-bedroom house, we pay less. Like,
It's crazy. It's
it's
crazy.
nuts. So,
Yeah.
like, pay the rate, marry the house, because no matter what, you guys already know, I don't trust Zillow because this estimate alone, they've never been in anybody's houses. So don't trust estimates. You guys get me to do what's called a CMA. It's a comparative market analysis. I talked about that earlier. Whenever we're making an offer, I'll do the CMA.
Yes. And see a lender and get
Yes.
even if you're not ready to buy today, go through the mortgage
Mhm.
process because it is the best exercise you will ever do for
That's right.
yourself.
Oh, the education you'll get. Oh my gosh. The more you know, the more you grow. So
Knowledge is power.
yes. What was I just gonna say there? Ooh, I might have lost it.
It's okay, it'll come back. But I was going to say too, like who you work with matters so much.
Mm-hmm.
Who you work with matters so much. So, just understand that working with a mortgage broker like myself and a real estate agent who is passionate, who is a hustler. That's why I wore this shirt for you.
Oh, I
Well,
love
for
that.
us, actually. But it matters. It matters.
Yes, it does. I remembered what I was gonna say. Haha.
Right.
How I touched on Zillow, my brain went bloop. So, with Zillow, I said how I started to say I don't trust Zillow. So, not just as estimates, like Zillow saying that our market's going to grow 4 to 6.5% in the next year, in just the Central Florida market. And I'm like, well, that's a wide range. Let's go with 4. On average, the market anywhere, like crash, no crash, whatever, the market grows on average about 2%. So don't feel like the market's going to go negative. It has once, and that was maybe 2%, other than the crash in 2008. You guys know that was caused for a reason. And now we're smarter these days with our lending standards. But yeah, so even if you, sorry, what?
No. Finish your
Um,
thought because I don't want to take it
yeah,
away from
yeah,
you.
'cause I will lose it.
No,
So
I know. I'm like the same brain. Go ahead.
so even if, to keep numbers simple, we do a $300,000 house, that's 4% that you're building in equity, just to, expect the worst, pray for the best, 4% instead of 6.
Mhm.
4, 8, $12,000 in equity you'd be building in 1 year. Of course, equity is invisible money, but guess what? If you rent that 1 year instead of buying, oh, I'm just gonna rent for another year hoping the market crashes. Okay, so you're spending $1,500 a month for that 1 or 2 bedroom place. That is 18,000 a year. So let's do 18,000 plus the $12,000 you're not building. That's $30,000 a year difference, you guys. Do you see, like, this real estate is how generational wealth is built. That is how over 90% of millionaires built their wealth, is through real estate, because it's not going anywhere. Stock market comes and goes, these crypto whatever will come and go. Actually, I can't talk on that. I don't know too much about it, but I do know what I do know. So let me help y'all.
Exactly. And I was going to say that, and I think I lost my thought now, actually. No, no. Okay. So, no,
You got it.
I got it. It's there. It's right there. No, what I was going to say, it had something to do with like the housing and what we were saying. You were talking about the housing and then the percentage of growth that's in the market,
Mhm.
right? Oh, I know what I was going to say. So when you're renting, I've heard people that are, I got it. When people are trying to get pre-approved, right? And they're
Mhm.
like, my budget for a mortgage payment is $2,500. That's it. That's what I pay, right? But they have a mound of credit card debt, right? That's
Mhm.
at 25% or more. Who knows?
Oh gosh.
What I would suggest is looking at your debt differently than saying you're going to base your mortgage payment on your budget that you're including your high interest debt in,
That's
right?
like short-term thinking.
It's so short term
Like,
and
are you
it's
gonna die in the next 30 years, or are you gonna rent for 30 years, then buy and basically make a payment on somebody else's mortgage for 30 years
and
before
I
that?
just had this happen, right? I just had this happen because I told that there was a client, she was putting, $100,000 down on the property because she wanted a certain payment. I said, what if you take the same, not the same amount, but a portion of this, right? Pay off all of this high interest debt and then open up your budget to then be more of a mortgage payment to where you're realistically buying in the lifestyle of the home that you want, right? And you're opening up more inventory for yourself to look at. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, don't trap yourself. Don't feel like
Don't trap yourself.
Mortgage payment is a trap, because it's not. Like, you are building equity. This is yours. Not, I mean, it's the bank's until it's paid off, but you guys know what I'm saying. Like, nobody can tell you. There's no fighting over parking spots. There's no, oh, every year is my rent going up $300. Let me tell you guys, my second year of homeownership, my mortgage went down $300 because my lender, they overestimated on the taxes and all that. And hey,
Yep, it's awesome. You get that escrow check in the mail.
Well, guess what? Your mortgage payment ain't ever going to go up, especially if you're with the right lender. You know what I'm saying? They will only ever overestimate because they have to have a certain amount. Let me dig a little deep, like 10% extra in your reserves account, just for, if the tax man for the taxes is like, hey, it's actually this much. Your mortgage lender doesn't want to have to be like, this is embarrassing. I know we said we only need this much, but we need this. They don't want to have to do that. So they always account for extra so that you're always okay. But that rent payment, how much is that going up? Like, okay, you're having a baby now. Well, now you're still in a 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom apartment. You have another baby, or, now your mom's sick and somebody's got to take care of her and you can't move her in because you live on the 3rd floor. Like, you want to have options. And like I said, you're not going to die 10 years after you buy your house. Like, this is long term. So just think long term and save yourself the stress in the future. Nobody wants to blink their eyes and you're 50 and you're like, I still haven't bought anything. And guess what? Supply and demand. I'm in Florida and now it's, $100,000 more than the last time I said, no, I'm waiting on the market to crash. Just save yourself the stress.
And reach out to us. That's the key.
Reach out. Education is key. That's why we're doing this whole thing.
So reach out. And Lily, how can they reach you?
They can reach out to me. I'm going to figure out how to do the little banner. I'm sorry, I didn't. I said last time I figured out, I didn't. 407-552-6087.
Or message you on Facebook, right?
Or message me on Facebook. Thank you.
Yes.
Message me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp.
You'll find her. Just say Lily out loud and you'll find her.
That's me. Like, literally, I text people, hey, what's up? I miss you. And, or like, not always, I miss you. That's weird. But always, hey, what's up? How's life been treating you? And they're like, that's so weird. I just talked about you. Like, my nose itched, my ear, whatever that saying is. Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
So weird. But yeah, cool. I'm used to it. But yeah, this has been great, you guys. If anybody has any questions, like I said, reach out to me.
Yeah, just reach out to us. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as well. So just reach out to either one.
All right. Well, thank you, Jess. Till next Monday. Have a good day, guys.
Good night.
Good night. My bad.
Bye.
Bye.